Hello everyone, my name is Camo, and welcome back to Snapshot Survival. Except this one really isn't a snapshot, because we are now on 1.20.2. Nothing really changed, because obviously I've been playing the snapshots, but I thought I would just let you know, at the time I'm recording this, we are currently on 1.20.2, and a couple weeks from Minecraft's Live, which I'm very excited for. Today, I'm in that Halloween kind of mood, and I actually want to work on a project for Halloween, and I want to make like a little festival area, like a little like Halloween district where we can build and create a couple projects and mini games, as well as something a bit special that will only happen on Halloween. So I want to work on that today, and we're gonna call it the Harvest Festival. However, in order to find the however, in order to actually build the Harvest Festival, we need a good location. And in this world so far, there's plenty of chunks that I've explored, and I think I know where I want to build it. And I also want to consider a bit of the spacing in the world. And to build a Harvest Festival, we need a good space in the world. And personally speaking, I've built and explored in many directions in this world, and for once, I think we should go in a different direction and go behind me and try to find a biome there. Or a couple biomes, and maybe even like something spooky like a zombie spawner or something alongside that. So we're gonna go exploring. We're gonna hope that I don't die. And as well as that, I also decked out my armor trim for the holiday season because Halloween is great. I think I might change one of these to quartz and get that like candy corn vibe because I think that would be a bit cool to do. So let's. Ooh. So why don't we go sleep and start exploring the world? Alrighty. So I found a mangrove swamp, a normal swamp, and a savanna biome, all bordering one another, and I'm really stuck because I'm having a hard time deciding what would be the best one for what I want to do this year. I really do want to do like a more like traditional like harvest theme and get like a bunch of like farms and other cool stuff set up. I actually have a really cool mini game in mind, and I really originally wanted like a mangrove swamp and savanna clashing into each other in this direction, which is like southwest of my world, I think. But it doesn't look like I'll be able to get that, especially with the swamp back there. I'm gonna try flying out more and see if we can find anything else, but if not, then I'm going to figure something out in that savanna biome, and we'll just drop this entire swamp idea over here. So, I did looking for a while, and I think this is the best spot because it's not super close to the water. It has that cool hill in the background that we can probably use, and there's a lot of land, and it feels like a farming area. So that's what I'm gonna stick with. We need to get this finished as soon as possible because it took me a month to make like a video in September, and I don't want to repeat that anymore. So we're gonna try to get as many things as possible. And the first thing that I actually want to do is I want to make sure if there is a spawner that we could possibly use, whether it be from a mine shaft or a dungeon, just something ease of access type deal. So we're gonna do some quick caving. Nothing super exciting, and we're gonna do that, and then we will start our foundation for this land. Okay, I searched, I looked, I went underground. There really isn't much down there besides like a really big amethyst geode, and then a couple spawners right in front of me all the way down. But they aren't in the location I want it to, so I'm just gonna ignore that, and if I do want something underground here, I could probably get a bunch of like evokers and wardens, and we can just see how that goes. So, because of that, I think we should start off with something small here. Well, a harvest festival won't be a festival if there isn't a harvest. So, why don't we actually just start hoeing down the land here get a bunch of wheat, like a giant wheat farm set up, and then we can carry on from there. Alrighty, so I finished the wheat farm, and I'm actually not too fond of it. I think I might actually take it down later, but I actually do need a place where I can actually like farm wheat and get pumpkins later. So we're gonna make this area at least a temporary farm with like all the scarecrows and stuff. And then most likely later I will take like the special stuff down and make it just a giant wheat field for decorative purposes. Because yeah, it's just not working out. I also think I have a solid plan for the area. So this giant mountain behind us I really like, and I think I want to integrate like a house on the hill right there. And it'll be our place where we actually store the main thing for this event. And then we'll build a barn over here, and then maybe have another structure, or we'll integrate it into the main building. I want to get the main building out of the way, because if I get this out of the way, then I'll have more time to actually like do the fun stuff, and it'll at least guarantee I have enough time to at least get the thing I want in that house, which I will reveal very soon. I want to work on the house on that mountain behind us first, because if I get that out of the way, I can at least guarantee we can do the fun stuff. And if we get to do the fun stuff, then that's a success because that's my main focus for this event. Most of the outside and extra stuff is more so for just entertainment purposes and if I have extra time. So if we get the main stuff out of the way, we can have fun. And I'm not going to reveal to you what we're actually going to do in the main structure yet, but I think you'll find out very soon by the time I finish it. So let me get some resources and let's start getting into an idea for it. Okay, so a little bit of progress has been made, just a teensy bit. I expanded the wheat farm. Most of the stuff in the middle is actually like able to be broken and replanted, but the rest is meant for like decoration. So when it all grows up, it's just going to be a giant golden field of wheat, and I really hope to expand it even more. And I want to see how big I can get it by the end of this video, hopefully. So throughout this video, I'm going to be breaking and replanting more of this wheat to see what happens exactly with the farm. Now, the other thing that I've been working on is actually right behind us. So if I turn around, I began to brainstorm the shape of the house that I wanted to build here. So it's kind of going to be like partially in the mountain, partially outside of the mountain. So we can have like a bit more like space to fit in like redstone or other stuff I want to include. And we're going to integrate two things into the building right there. We are going to integrate the main thing that I wanted to do for the event, and then all the way at the top floor, I want to include a mini game. Or that's what I'm planning. I may move the mini game elsewhere, but for me personally, I want to at least try to make it up there, and I think it'll work out fine. I have a lot of games and content that I've brainstormed that I wanted to make. However, I'm running low on time, and while I do want to do all of it, I want to at least try to get this main structure done, and I really do want to at least try to get one mini game in this area, because then maybe in November I can come back to the area and build a couple more, and we can have like a little mini celebration here. Other than that, though, we actually need to start digging and actually get the shape out so we can actually start building the house and getting it all together. So let's get started. Alrighty, the house has finally been dug out, and we are actually ready to now start building the exterior for the base. So this should give a bit more definite shape here. So let me show you what we're working on. So in the inside here, we have this pretty decently sized room. This is probably going to be like the lobby area, so it's going to be either like really chill and kind of just be like an introduction room, maybe have a couple secrets. So then we can take the stairs right here, and then it will actually wrap around and take you to the second floor. So the second floor will actually have like the main portion thing of what I really wanted here, and it's going to be a bit small, but we'll find space for everything that I want to include here. We can even push this wall out later if we really need the space. So that's what we're going to do here, main room. And then there's going to be a spiral staircase that leads all the way up into this floor. And this floor will kind of be the lobby for the minigame that I want at the top. And then this will be the entrance, and the exit will be like right over there. And then right under the mountain will be the thing, and then we will build a giant creature representing the game, which I think will look really good. I also expanded the wheat field again. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if this entire savanna biome just became wheat field. Not saying it will, but there's definitely a chance. But looking up from here, it actually looks really cool. So we're gonna keep expanding that hopefully and get as much wheat spread as possible. And then over here, I have some decorative pumpkins, and then I think we have room if we want to include like a basement area and build something there. But for now, I'm just leaving it closed off. Today is actually Snapshot Day, believe it or not. And while I was working on the stairs here and actually building all the terracotta stuff, I decorated a little patch of pumpkins over here. And I actually discovered a bug, or I'm not really sure if it's a bug. It could just be something on my end, but I found that you can't actually share pumpkins in the new snapshot. So I actually downgraded the world and got that figured out, and it works fine in 1.20.2, but for whatever reason in the new snapshot it's broken. For me, maybe it's a bug, I'll let you know. I'm probably playing a clip over this right now and showing you what that looks like. Other than that, though, we now actually have to do the building part, and that's a bit hard because we don't really have a block palette set up at the moment. I knew I wanted to make the base a bit darker, and I think we're gonna just go dark to like a gray tone at the top. So I assume most likely for the roofs we're going to use a mix of stone blocks, so like deep slate, and I think for the foundations and like actual walls of the house, at least for the outside, we're going to use wood and maybe mix in like terracotta or other type of blocks right there. That shouldn't be that big of a deal, but let's actually find the palettes that we want to use. Alrighty, so here's what I'm thinking for the first floor at least. I think we should use a mix of like the crimson color since it adds a lot of color to the build. You know, very subtle though. Maybe like accents, or maybe just the stem itself, or like the strip log. Concrete, because if we have too much wood, it's gonna look a bit off. And then I'm planning on using dark oak. And then for like details, I'm planning to use a deep slate and spruce. So that can be like trapdoors and stuff and whatnot. I also need to get glass for the windows later. And then for the roof, I think we should do like a mix of like copper and like the deep slate tiles. I think those just work the best, and copper has multiple states, so if I really want it to like oxidize over time, that would be really cool. Other than that, I'm pretty happy with the build, so let me start experimenting, and then when I get in a flow, we can have like a bit of a discussion. We interrupt this portion of the video with a Minecraft mob vote announcement. As you can see my little mob head right there. We are currently in my Minecraft live bunker over here, in a very secret and disclosed location where we will be watching Minecraft live with my comfortable socks and entertaining room. Oh, the bunker door just opened. but I will be watching it here. We'll talk about it here. It'll be great. However, for now, I actually want to just focus on the mob vote over here. So if we go right here, we have three options over here. Three wonderful options. We have the crab, the armadillo, and the penguin. So the crab is a mob that'll crawl on multiple sides. It will spawn in mangrove swamps, and it will have a claw item that you can get from it, and that claw will give you further reach. The armadillo will roll around in a ball and spawn in the savannas, and will drop a armadillo skew that can be used to make wolf armor. And then lastly, we have the penguin, which will spawn on stony shores, will be amphibious, and will, like, stumble around land, and then it'll make your boats go faster. So out of these three votes, these mobs are pretty decent for, like, a mob vote. I think it's the most fitting, because they're very simple in design, and they all offer something that the Minecraft community has wanted or wanted at some point. You know, faster transportation, wolf armor, and then further reach. And I'm a very, so now we're going to play a game of process of elimination and select my vote here. So to start off with, we're going to begin with the armadillo. The armadillo, while it has a cool design and may even be able to go in block form and stuff, I'm not super interested in wolf armor. I don't see a point of it because most of the time I just leave my wolves at home because they're too hard to manage and let them roam freely or just let them follow me. So for the sake of it, I don't think I'm going to do the armadillo. It's a waste of a vote, waste of an item. Next one is the penguin. The penguin offers a lot, actually. It offers a new amphibious creature to the land, which is great. And then it also helps with the transportation problem, especially early game, since we can make boats faster. And depending on how they do it, actually, it may mean we can use boats to transport, like, villagers and stuff really easily, or even make ice bridges quicker. I assume they're gonna kind of do it like the Dolphin's Grace, or they may just make it so, like, the entity pushes the boat. Either way, I think this is a great choice. And last but not least, the crab. I love this idea because it allows it so we can place blocks further. It gives attention to the mangrove swamp biome, which I think is great. And I think there's a lot of, like, fun they could do with it. Like, I could totally see them making, like, a crab rave meme into the game. So it'll be the crab. Aw, the fireworks didn't launch. Hold on, I want to redo that now. Let's redo this over again. For me, I think the crab should be our winner. There we go. I think the crab offers mostly what I want in a building, which is to place farther, because all the time I'm always struggling with jumping and reaching. And if they even make it so you can break blocks further, I think that would also be great. There may even be a way to, like, prevent it so, like, entities, like, can't be hit farther away, but you can place and break stuff. Either way, I think this is a great addition. It has everything I love in it, which is mangrove swamp, crab, further reach. It's all good. Let's go back to the main focus of building my house. Okay, so I had to take a slight break for a couple of days because I was working on my room, and I had to unplug things and leave my computer in the dust. And a lot of things changed because, one, I accidentally wiped a bit of data on my drive, causing all my OBS settings to reset. So I decided, why not try some new settings and experiment again? And I think they sound good now. Although I think they might be a bit loud, but I can fix that. I can lower that down in editing. And I want to go a bit on my thought process of the build so far that I barely got started on. So let's get into it real quick. More progress has been made on our build so far. As you can see, I started working on the second floor now, and I'm kind of at the point where I'm gonna like go through a bit of my thinking process at the moment. So, as I said a bajillion times, down here on the first floor, it's meant to be gray and not really the focal point area, so it's just meant to be a bit more ominous and just like a basic entrance. Going in here, it is still empty, but don't worry, I'll show you the second floor. And this is actually where I'm going to start explaining like what this project is supposed to be. Because on the second floor now, uh, I did a like a more wooden style build. And half of it's going to be a library and half of it's going to be a greenhouse. And and the plan for this build actually is going to be a museum where we're actually storing all the mobs that can wear like jack-o'-lanterns and carved pumpkins on their heads and storing them so you can like walk around and see them all in one place. Now, this is going to be a bit of a challenge, and we're not going to do it this episode because I want to make one in between of Minecraft Live. So we're going to actually finish wrapping this up, hopefully the exterior, and then we're going to do the first and second floor interiors, and then I'm going to leave the top floors for the mini game that I have planned very soon. So the hard part definitely is going to be trying to get all these mobs in here. Like as you can see, I labeled right here that I want in the greenhouse area, I want like a husk garden. I still don't know where every mob's going to be, but like I have some ideas. Like for the wither skeleton, they're gonna have like a little like soul area over here. This is going to be a library area, so I wanted to work on that, and I have some ideas behind me that I could probably do for this house. However, I'm kind of at the like I'm kind of stuck at where I've been building because I did this wonderful like greenhouse side, and I love what I did with the roof over here. The middle area is more meant to be a So now that you know I'm collecting mobs, I'm kind of struggling on how to take this build further. Like, I'm really happy with what I got started so far. A little unhappy with the middle structure. I think I might add a bit more, like, greenery or, like, heighten the structure a bit and make it a bit more, like, menacing. And make it, like, tower a bit. However, for the other side, I want to make, like, a clock tower area right here. And, you know, I also have to fit like the library on the inside, and I'm really struggling about how to go about that right now. And this is where I thought it was a good time. This is where I thought it would be a good time to like take a moment and just try to brainstorm from where we left off. I actually think the first thing that we could probably do is redo this structure right here because I am not a fan of it whatsoever. This looks uh pretty bad to me personally. The Like, I'm happy with, like, the actual base, and I love this balcony right here. However, this part right here just won't do, for me at least. I still really don't know what to do with this side, though, because it's a bit of an awkward shape, and I'm pretty sure I want it to have, like, a more, like, pointy top. More like, but also, like, still keep the square shape. Because, like, with the circle towers up there, they're probably gonna have, like, a coned roof. And, you know, I don't want it to look super repetitive, so we gotta make it look decent. And also, I think we gotta make the clock like the focal point. Whether that's... I think we might use Soulfire for that. Ladies and gentlemen, I have finished the second floor exterior. I'm going to be honest with you. This house, this build, is something I did not expect to turn out in this manner. However, I am loving the Frankenstein style of the house, and I think it's turning out great. So let me do like a Should I show you first, or should I just explain how I got here? I think I should show you. Here it is. The second side of this house is now completed. Fully decked out in color and a clock, and the inside still has room in it, and I think this turned out so well, and I think I need to tell you how I got to this point in time. To start off with, I actually started by extending the blackstone border side and tried filling in the blue wool with that, and I really didn't like it. However, I wanted like an extension piece, so I turned it into polished blackstone and I made a little like warped area. And originally there was soulfire under there, but I later replaced it with netherwart. Then I worked on like I realized that I'm probably going to have to add a lot of depth to the build. So what I did next was I literally just started adding a layer of netherwart and then built a smaller structure on the inside, which would be like around like a 5 by 5 so I could like fit something like square or like circular on top for the roof. The clock was a bit difficult, but overall, I just used stripped warp wood and walls for the hands. And then for the one side, I added magenta glass and some other details there, because that's where the library is probably going to be, or like an extension to the library, or even like the clock room, where I'm probably going to put the drowns in, because like I'm going to put like gears on the interior to like make the clock look like it's functioning and stuff. Overall, though, I think I nailed it. And then the roof. The roof was probably my favorite part because originally I was going to use another stone base block, but I put spruce and dark oak log, and then I just started stacking the top point, and I think it turned out great. And then I don't think it'll take away too much later on because I think for the taller towers at the top of the build, I'm probably gonna make those either like square or like really like stretched out and tall, so it looks good. Besides that though, I'm really happy with how this turned out. Let me know what you think in the comments because I'm like in crunch mode right now, but also like I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job. Hey everybody! Well, I have some good news and bad news. The bad news is I'm actually out of time, and as you can see, the interior isn't done, and I have to get editing and release this by Thursday, so I'm in a bit of a pickle. However, the good news is, if I release this video now, the next video will actually come out in a couple days, because the next video is actually going to be covering Minecraft Live, and hopefully should have like a brief highlight of me at least finishing a bit of the exterior and like actually showing the final build of that, as well as the interior, or at least some of the thought process behind it. I think I may go more in depth there. It really depends what you want, and if you want that, you have to make sure to like this video and subscribe, because otherwise I won't know if you actually like it or if you're just there for the Minecraft Live content. Either way, thank you so much for watching. I've recorded this like 8 times, and I need to get into the editor's room and finally get this done. So, goodbye.